Here are 4 ways to tie a macrame crown knot. Also, stay tuned to the very end, I have a couple bonus tips for you. Hey, I'm Sheena Joy. I'm here to teach and inspire you to create beautiful textile art. Subscribe and click the bell notification to be notified for more tutorials like this one. Now let's get into it. The first variation I'm going to demonstrate is the spiral crown knot. This is the most commonly used crown knot of the bunch and what you would typically see in patterns online. Make an X with 2 long cords. Then counterclockwise overlap each neighboring cord. The last cord gets tucked underneath the loop of the first cord you started with. Once you've made your way around, pull all cords tight. And once you do that, this is actually called a box knot. You can see why. When you tie several box knots on top of each other, this is what creates the spiral crown knot. It's quicker for me to create this knot in my hands, but don't worry, I will demonstrate again on the table so you can see better. You should have something like this when you're done. This sinnet pattern is the base of all the knots, so don't worry if I'm going too fast. You will completely get it by the end of this video. The second crown knot is called the box sinnet. This variation is not as common as the first one. I've seen it used in mostly keychains and jewelry patterns. The first round of this knot is exactly how you would have tied the spiral crown knot, but I'm showing you here on the table just so that it makes sense as opposed to in my hand. So now to create the box sinnet, you need to weave the ends back and forth as opposed to going around like we did with the first one. So I'll show you how you do that. Again, it's easier for me to do it while holding it in my hands, but it makes more sense for me to lie it on the table for you to understand. So now I'm just weaving in the ends. I know it looks pretty much exactly the same as the spiral crown, but trust me, when you keep doing it back and forth weaving, it creates kind of a long rectangular shape. And this is what it should look like when you're finished. It's a little difficult to see on camera, but it is shaped in kind of a long rectangular shape. The third knot is the crown circle, and this one is my favorite one. It's also the most time consuming, but I think it's totally worth it. The crown circle is more advanced, so I recommend a lot of practice and a lot of patience. It's also the starting point of the Celtic star knot tutorial I did a few months back. I'll link the tutorial in the description below. Now to create this knot, it is pretty much exactly the same as the spiral crown knot, only you're using 2 more extra cords in the bunch. So you'll be using 4 long cords to create this knot. I recommend cutting your length super long because this style really eats up a lot of your length. So once you've gone around in your sinnet, you're going to want to tighten up your rope. This also makes a really cute flower if you just want to use 1 round of it. But for us, we're making a crown knot, so we're going to do this several hundred times, and this is what creates the long cord. You can see how this is very time consuming. And this is what it looks like when it's done. You can see why it's called the crown circle. It makes a really cool pattern at the bottom. And the fourth variation of a crown knot is the braided crown. I like this one as an accent piece on large scale projects, and it looks pretty neat when you add a tassel to the end of it. Don't forget to stay tuned to the very end. I have an awesome bonus tip that makes this crown knot super easy to do. So this variation technically isn't a knot, it is a braid, which is why you'll want to hold it in your hand when you're creating it. But for right now, I lied down some tape so that it makes more sense for you when I demonstrate. So you're going to need 7 pieces of cord, and you're going to want to tie the end together in just an overhand knot. I used the green painter's tape just so that you can see where I'm folding each strand. I'll show you in a minute. So as you notice, we're missing 1 strand for each of the green tape, which is exactly what you want to do. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the 3rd strand from the missing one and we're going to fold it over to the missing spot. And then we're going to do the same thing, the 3rd one over. So you're going to keep following this pattern until it turns into kind of like a braid. Also note that since it is a braid, that you're going to have to tie the bottom end to it as well, otherwise it's just going to unravel. And this is what it looks like when you're finished. This one is a lot more pliable. You can bend it a lot easier than the other ones. That is how you do 4 different variations of a crown knot. Which one was your favorite? Comment below. If you use any of my tutorials, feel free to tag me on Instagram. I enjoy seeing your work and I love to give shoutouts on my Instagram story. This is a super quick tip on how to attach it to a ring for those hanging baskets you see all over Pinterest. So what you need to do is put your first cord through the loop of the ring and then lie your second cord over top. And you just create your crown knot from there. So the trick is to just pretend that the ring is not even there and carry on with your crown knot. Can you guess which crown knot I'm doing in this demonstration? And there you have it. That is how you attach it to a ring. Now this is my best tip on how to make that braided crown knot. You're going to make your spherical loom by cutting it out of a piece of cardboard. There's that green tape again. I'm using it to draw out my circle. Now you're going to want to divide your circle into 8s. Don't worry, it does not have to be perfect at all. You don't need to measure it out. In fact, the first loom I made, I created out of my daughter's diaper box, and it was not in a shape of a circle at all. It was really awful looking. If you're interested in checking it out, I actually have it on my Instagram if you wanted to pop on over there and laugh at me. And so anyways, you want to cut a hole in the center of your circle, and then very carefully cut little slits where you had divided into 8s. And now you can easily make your braided crown knot. See, this makes it so much easier. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you found this tutorial helpful, here are 2 more I think you might enjoy. I'll see you over there.